Beyond Meat just got absolutely torched today and blew up. The stock cratered below $1 after a desperate debt deal, then exploded back up in a wild meme stock frenzy. And just as that chaos hit the market, Trump dropped another China bomb, threatening to ban U.S. software exports to China. Let's get into the news and the plays. Let's go! Alright, guys, it's Rob coming at you with the... What is today? Jeez, man. Oh, that's right. Yeah, Wednesday. Coming into you with the Wednesday nightly watch list, okay? So we're going to talk about the news, what's moving the market, get you the fastest news in the world, and I'm going to hit you at the end of this video, all right, with a really nice play that I'm looking at right now, so stay tuned. So the market actually ended red today, and this was because of a Trump-China headline. And he said, right, or this is a headline, right? Trump administration consider and plan to restrict globally produced exports to China made with or contained in U.S. software. So essentially this will be a U.S. software export ban on China. Now, like I've been telling you guys on the previous watch list, Trump and President Xi of China are going to meet, right, at the end of the month. So you're starting to see, right, a lot of these headlines coming out. And, you know, one of the things that I wanted to, you know, kind of keep touching on was, well, if you watched the last watch list, you would have saw me talk about getting exposure, right, to a move down. I mean, the market was running up and Apple was, you know, hitting all-time highs. Okay, and I said, hey, guys, you know, let's actually get some downside, right, risk exposure. So you could have got Apple puts. Now, the play I put out on that watch list actually went up over 100%. So what you could have done is sold those today up over 100%. And you actually would have had a free, right, protection play coming into the China-Trump meeting. Okay, so that's what I'm saying, guys. Stay locked into the watch list, okay, because I'm putting out fire news and plays for you guys. And I want you guys to do the same and post in the comments everything you guys are looking at. But, you know, since I'm already talking about Trump and China and all that, you know, there was a lot of Apple news today. And the first thing that came out was from the AT&T CEO. And he actually said that the iPhone 17 is not a record-breaking phone cycle, but it's really strong. So, you know, that did affect Apple today. You did see a little candle there, but not only that, you know, watch AT&T and T-Mobile right off of this headline. I mean, you're still seeing strong numbers, right, for this iPhone. And then Apple today also came out with the new iPad Pro, the 14-inch MacBook Pro, and Apple Vision Pro, and those are all available. So, right, Apple did come down today, right? The market did come down. You did get that Trump-China, right, U.S. software export headline. So, you know, if the market does open up green tomorrow, right, this could present another opportunity for you to get some downside exposure heading into that China meeting, right? But if the market holds down or keeps selling off going into this, well, the only way for you to get cheaper exposure, right, if you really wanted to go into the Apple name, would be to go farther out the money on the puts, okay? That's the only way to get it cheaper. Now, the play I put out for Apple was an options play where it actually incorporated the earnings and the China meeting, because Apple is going to report earnings at the end of the month, and you have the Trump in China. So I think this is a really good name, you know, to try to watch and, you know, get exposure to that China headline. And also, you know, also watch Alibaba. I think Apple and Alibaba are definitely going to be, you know, your two direct exposures to this meeting coming at the end of the month. So that's what I have for you with that. And like I was saying in the intro to this video, Beyond Meat, okay? Now, they did sell off today, and they erased a 160% daily gain and actually turned negative on the day and are continuing to sell off in the aftermarket today. Now, this was a meme stock retail frenzy. When I first noticed this name, right, we got in at around 75 cents on Beyond Meat, and it went absolutely crazy. And today, right, with the market down, and the stock was also halted and profit taken. So you could combine those three things, and it killed all of the momentum. So right, there is a possibility, right, if the market, wants to get crazy and run up a bunch, right, and, say if this China-Trump stuff blows over, I mean, this name could absolutely still rocket back up, especially with a lot of the other names. I mean, you saw Quantum get, murdered today. That sold off. A lot of other, bubbly names, right, AI names. Just a lot of things that have been overvalued did take a big hit today. And, with a big thing in focus recently, Beyond Meat. So one of the things I did want to talk to you guys about was these convertible bonds. Okay, so Beyond Meat, right, when they were first, getting hit hard, they, the stock cratered, and the stock was around 50 cents because they did a desperate, debt deal to stay in business. And, those bondholders that got that debt also have convertible shares. So essentially what that means is they're going to be able to hold their bonds, but also have a right to get shares of the stock. So what do you think they're going to do with this meme stock frenzy? Well, they're going to convert those bonds and get those shares, and they're going to dump all them on the open market. So I just wanted everyone to, kind of be worried, or watch out for that. I mean, the stock could definitely keep running up, but, those bondholders, right, they have a lot of shares they can empty on the market. So, this isn't something that's a good long-term investment or whatnot, but, with the market being in a bubble, right, you're seeing names like these go off. So Beyond Meat, right, keep your eye out today, could be one of those days to add to this position. If, the market wants to continue to get frothy, it could really continue up, or, we could see it keep dropping down. So, right, Beyond Meat, that's what I have for you on that name. And then Netflix, okay, they were down 8%, right, after their earnings report because they missed their earnings estimate, basically, and they said there was this Brazilian tax dispute which hurt their earnings for the quarter, so it sent the stock down 8%. And I was warning you guys here because, in the last Watchlist I said, be careful, guys, Elon Musk was boycotting Netflix. I think we could see, some risk coming into this earnings report, downside, move, and that is exactly what happened. Now, the reason why I continue to bring this up is because Netflix is actually at its daily 200-day moving average, and every time the stock has hit this, the stock has bounced back up. So I want everyone to keep an eye out for this because I expect a big move from here, either up or down. All right? There's a lot of volatility in the markets, especially headed into the end of the month. So, right, with this Netflix, earnings report coming out and this Elon boycott news that was there, right, the stock's at a key level. So this thing could really continue to tank down, right? Or this could be the exact moment, right, it turns around on that 200-day moving average. So Netflix, keep your eye out. Also, just like a fun fact here, right, not really going to move the market, but this is now the second longest U.S. government shutdown in history. So, right, we're continuing to watch that, what comes out of this, see if they can get anything passed with funding to get the government back open. But as of right now, it's the second longest in history. Also, another headline I have for you, since we do own this in the long-term portfolio, ticker symbol NVO, Novo Nordisk. Now, their shares were down about 2% pre-market today as, right, one of their top investors, the Novo Foundation, they drove this board overhaul. So you're seeing a big move in the board of directors and leadership in Novo Nordisk right now. Okay, so that sent the stock down pre-market. So I just wanted to give you guys some news on a long-term name, right, that, did move today. So there's that. Also, we did see a Google and GM, General Motors headline. And GM absolutely went crazy after their earnings report. I mean, that stock was up over 15, 16%, went to all-time highs after their earnings report. Huge move for the company. You don't see big percentage moves on that name. And they killed it on their earnings. And today they actually came out and said they plan to bring, as they call it, eyes-off driving to the market in 2028. And it's going to debut on the Cadillac Escalade IQ. And it's going to be an electric SUV. So, right, competition with Tesla, right, big name coming into the self-driving market. And they also said beginning next year, GM vehicles will feature, conversational AI with Google's Gemini. So, they're top competing with Tesla because, Tesla incorporated Grok, their AI into the car. But, this news didn't really drive the stock up too much, right? Because you already had that crazy move after earnings. But nonetheless, I mean, you could see this name just continue to flourish and keep doing great, teaming up with Google, right? So they're going to debut, their eyes off driving, as they call it, in 2028. So there's your news of GM. And then what I have for you here. Oh, yeah, Tesla earnings. So Tesla reported after the bell today, and we're still going to get a lot of movement. The conference call hasn't started. All we have now is the EPS numbers and revenue. And last I looked, the stock was down, right? Because, everyone looks at Tesla margins. And, right, last I saw, the margin numbers came in line or just a little bit below. So the implied move on the stock was up or down 7.5%. So tomorrow morning, if you don't see it up or down that much, well, all the options will get killed. And, watch this name coming into open tomorrow based on the conference call. And, as more, you get to think about these numbers and see, the headlines coming out for their earnings. And then, like I told you guys, since you stayed here all the way to the end of the video, right, I have a play for you guys. And this here is something I'm excited about. And a news headline name I really think could move. Now, the ticker symbol is FUN, fun. Now, I'm bullish on this name. I think it could be a really great long play. And the headline we have out of this, right, the company is Six Flags, the amusement park. Now, NFL star Travis Kelce and an activist investor, right, Jana Partners, and they're pushing, right, they're a group, and they're pushing for changes at Six Flags and even possibly including evaluating a potential sale. So, right, you're seeing an activist investor come in, and at the same time, you have Travis Kelce getting involved. Now, right, huge name, Travis Kelce, big celebrity, and, he could really have a big impact on this, company and brand, right? He gets a lot of publicity, especially with Taylor Swift. He could really drive a lot of traction to Six Flags, right? For the brand, okay? Get people going there more. While at the same time, you have these activist investors that can come in and change, the story around there, right? I did some analysis on Six Flags. They have a lot of debt, and they pay a lot of in interest expense, so it's killing their earnings, okay? But there could be a big turnaround story for this. And at the same time, right, with the market being bubbly, who knows? Maybe even we have a scenario where the retail investors, run into this public name because Travis Kelce's getting involved. And, if you look at this ticker symbol, I mean, Six Flags is at multi-year lows, okay? So I really think this could be a decent long play on ticker symbol FUN, right? Travis Kelce, activist investor, turnaround, and this name is at lows. Now, this headline did come out yesterday around the market close. So the stock did run up a little bit, right? I think it was around 15% once this headline came out. But since the market was red today, the name actually sold off around 4 to 5%. So it's presenting, an interesting opportunity to get in. Like I tell you guys here, I create these watch lists, right, to give you guys the fastest news in the world, okay, news that you can actually make plays on, okay, and know what's going down in the market. So, all right, take what I say with all these headlines, all the news, right? Make good decisions with it. And at the same time, like I always tell you guys, make sure you get a long-term portfolio, right? Invest in things for the long term, right? Watch our video on how to set up a long-term portfolio and what we do there. But, right, we make money in the short term and the long term. So, guys, that's what I have for you to tonight's watch list. But I'm really excited, okay? We have a lot coming into the end of the month, okay? It's earnings season, right? There's volatility. Okay, you're seeing meme names like Beyond Meat going absolutely crazy. And then FUN. Okay, guys, look, stay locked in. And like I tell you all the time, I appreciate everyone that watches these videos. Stay safe, everyone. Peace.